and we made like I think about £600. So it was really good.
Cool.
And we sold scarves and also rolled roses. Yeah, we made about £50, so not very much.
Cool. One more.
We sold children's car packs for like the back of seats and board in the car. And I don't think we made that much money. We were about £20.
Okay. So the basic concept behind Enterprise is to set up a business. They've got it at different stages, but one was when I was 17, we set up something called Chrome Enterprises. And the key thing about it is just learning by doing. You know, you can sit in a lecture and you can learn about marketing and you can learn what it means and all the theory behind it, but until you actually get out there and do it. And that's kind of one of the things about this campaign is the more you put in, the more you're going to get out, and the more you're going to understand and learn kind of what you're doing. To be able to sit there, whether it be an interview or whatever, and go, look, this is what I did, and this is amazing, this is how I contribute to it. It doesn't matter that the end result, because it's around the journey and the process and the learnings. Like I'm sure making £600, making 50 quid, making 20 quid, the learning and the process that you'll go through will be kind of not the same necessarily, but it will be, you'll learn a lot more if it didn't all go smoothly. I'm sure you've each got examples where it's not gone quite the way, but then you've been able to learn and take something from that. So I'm just going to load kind of a few separate images on here. So we ended up kind of doing a few things. This is kind of when I was 17, and it was we got school T-shirts that we got the kids to design, and then we sold the parents the T-shirts that the kids designed, and we got the school umbrellas made up. And then the biggest thing that we did though was, and it says there, Pupils Mean Business, and we set up a website called needanumber.co.uk. So this was in 1990, and it was a web directory service, and the idea was to help local businesses, shops and services, basically do an advert with their opening times, information, and at the time, like, Yellow Pages wasn't even online, I don't think. It was like this huge, it was a really great thing that we kind of did. We got around 200 companies to sign up to us. And we went into a shop, imagine it's Friday afternoon, and again, think about your peer group now, what time is it? Oh, probably maybe just waking up now. So you're all in the room. So this was like, setting the scene, it was 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and I walked into this room, and this shop, and this woman just turned around and was like, get out! Whatever you're selling, get out! And I guess who in the room would have walked out at that stage? A few people would have walked out, probably most people. Okay, so I do sound a little bit like the hero in the story, but my mate was already halfway out the door, and I just stood there and I said, okay, the key question, what do all businesses want to do?
Make a profit.
Sell more, yeah, sell more, make a profit. So it makes a lot of sense. So I'm standing there, and this is kind of, in terms of kind of drive and belief, that I'm standing here, I'm only selling something for 20 quid, and I believe that I'm going to help this business make more money by just having an advert. The profits that we're doing go for charity anyway. It was all just like the concept that they'll pay us 20 quid, they'll go on this website, people will see the website, and then they'll come into the shop and fine. And we ended up asking some questions, and kind of she'd only opened quite recently, and she'd been sold a lot of people. When a new business opens, lots of people try and sell you stuff. Because they're like, oh, it's a new business, they must need a phone line, and they must need gas and electricity, and they must need all these other things, and like shop fittings, and blah, blah, blah. And so it kind of went on and on. And so you can understand why she said no. And anyway, so after around 20 minutes, we left with some money in hand, which is amazing. And I guess in that situation, and thinking about when I asked for volunteer, you all thought these kind of negative thoughts. So kind of what's the worst thing that can happen? Is my question. So in that situation, what's the worst thing that can happen when I went into that shop? She said no. Yeah, what's the best thing that can happen?
Yes.
Okay, so in those two situations, like in the same situation, both of those things happened. And then we learned from it, and then we went forward, and kind of we got the money, and then it helped us, and then I gave £1,000 to charity. And as an overall experience, it was like this amazing kind of learning experience kind of when I was 17 that really kind of gave me kind of insights just in terms of kind of learning. Again, no doesn't necessarily mean no, and about kind of having this belief and like conviction and like this opportunity, and like if I didn't believe in it, then I probably would have just left. I'd just be like, yeah, you're right, fine, whatever, kind of moved on. And so I think that's kind of really, really important. So kind of whatever you're doing, is just like to have a think about that and have the information and kind of knowledge and really kind of believe kind of what it is that you want to do. So, cool. There are some crazy pictures of me doing a few different things. The first one was in San Francisco, where I worked on placement. I know there was a question on there just around kind of taking a gap year. And I'm not going to go into this kind of specifically now, just because we're running a little bit over time, and I know just in terms of lunch and wanting to eat food and all that. So that's I'm going to kind of rush through kind of a few questions. But what I'd quite like to do is just if you can just write down these questions, and use these as a talking point just over lunchtime that I think will help hopefully provide some interesting kind of conversation. And I'll share kind of a few reasons kind of why they're important and why I think they're kind of quite important. So the first thing is kind of what you're passionate about in life. Why do I say this? What's interesting is anyone that knows me, kind of friends, when they heard that I kind of created this business around deals and promotions, they were like, you have created something that is like you. Like, I was always one of those people that I'd find something and go, oh my god, you have to use this deal. Like, oh my god, there's £1 fares here. You have to, like, this weekend we're all going here because it's like half price. And everyone's like, okay, James, yeah, fine. And like, you know, that kind of, and I'm sure you've all got a friend, or maybe hopefully some of you in the room are like that as well. And that was kind of very much like, oh my god, you passionate, you created something that you're so passionate about already that it's unbelievable how you've done that. So what are you passionate about? Just share thoughts and feelings. One of the things earlier around this expectation of meeting like-minded people. I think through the selection process, like, you are generally going to be all kind of like-minded people and I have these common ground, and it would be interesting to kind of share, what it is that kind of connects you all. The other thing is kind of which other people and or lifestyles do you admire. It's all very well thinking, right, I want to be, a banker or an investment banker or whatever, and then ended up kind of working really hard and then not having time to enjoy it, and all of these, you think, what do I want? And that's kind of really important, so to understand, yeah, I want these things. But also, another question, what do you want out of life? And these like small little questions that start maybe plant a seed and have a think, kind of what you want. But then, related to what I was just saying about kind of being a banker or whatever, I've got nothing against those kind of people in the world. They make the world go round. But it's around kind of thinking what do you want and what do you not want. Because I think a lot of times people go, yeah, have a dream, do what you want to do. And you then kind of create this whole thing, but then you don't think, actually, I didn't want those things. So like, yeah, I want loads of money, but actually I don't have time to spend it, so there's no point in loads of money. Do you know? And it's just having a thing. And for me, I think these questions were kind of extremely useful when I was going through this process around, do I want to work for someone, what do I want to do, or what job do I want to do, and these pictures around my gap year, around having experiences that were really, really amazing, and I ended up going to San Francisco for 3 months on a placement, and it was nine years ago, which makes me feel very old. And then I did a ski season in France. I worked in a hotel, and all my family were like, oh, you're going to be cleaning toilets, you're going to get no time to ski. But I really, I wanted to go, I love skiing and snowboarding and stuff, and I worked in a hotel. And I ended up, just a very brief story, sharing a room. There were 7 of us in a 4-person place. There was no hot water, there was, too many of us, and loads of things kind of happened. They ended up, some people I was working with stole some stuff from my bag, some food and stuff. They got the munchies one night. I was like, oh yeah, let's go and get James' food. And it was just like not very nice. Do you know what I mean? You're setting up a situation, it's not very nice. And I'm like, you know what? It's my gap year. I'm doing what I really want to do. I've just been in San Francisco for 3 months, had the most amazing time. I've started the ski season, we're 2 weeks in. And I had the kind of idea, look, you know what, I'm going to make a bit of effort with the guests. So, at the end of the week where people write down your, has someone made a difference to your week? I just thought, I didn't do it for that, but I just thought, if you speak to the guests, they'll buy you some drinks, it will make your whole week kind of go a bit nicer. You're serving them dinner. It's like a bit, it's a bit of fun. Like, the more you put in, again, the more you get out of it. And it's not like the most glamorous work, but you get on with it. So I kind of got involved a bit more. So within 2 weeks, I had, I think it was 20 people had written down my name on these forms, which made me feel like really good. Like, anyone else had 1 or 2. And so I knew I could do what, it's not the craziest thing, it's just like being a bit more. And another point just in terms of learning, it's like, if you do just what's expected, most people don't even do that, so that will really help you just get ahead. Just do, whatever it is, however you apply yourself. So I just thought, I'm doing the normal things, I'm just, being friendly to people, whatever. So in the end, again, thinking about what you want and what you don't want. I wanted to have a ski season, I wanted to do a ski season, but I didn't want to be living in this place where people steal stuff from me, and there are 7 people living in a 4-person flat. So I went to all of them, I go, look guys, let's do something about this. So the 7 of them, I said, look, we'll go and speak to management, we should get another flat, and then that will help just ease the hot water situation, all of this stuff. And all of them said to me, no, look, life's like this, you can't do anything about it, whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. And I ended up sorting something out, and I went to speak to the manager, and I hate being the snitch or whatever, but I did everything that I could to have an open conversation with them, to say, look, let's do something about it. And they said, no, we can't. So anyway, I ended up speaking to management, and they said, James, there's only one situation, a solution. I go, well, what's the solution? They're like, oh, we'll give you your own hotel room. So I'm like, okay. And the manager just goes to me, look, you're going to get some, people are going to be angry at you. Like, you're going to get your own hotel room. That will solve the problem. You know, you're out of their space, and it doesn't matter or whatever. But you're going to have to do some harder work. You know, like if something needs to be done, you need to volunteer. And I kind of got it, and I was like, you know what, that's fine. And then halfway through the ski season, I got promoted and transferred from the resort that we were in to the Three Valleys, which is like the best place in the world to ski. And like they needed me, this resort. It was like amazing, because they said to me, look, guys, James, this resort's really struggling. They've got some great clients, but they really need someone like you to just come in and just help. And so I did, and I was seeing this kind of person that just came in, and they were all really stressed and were understaffed. And as soon as I came in, it like completely changed. And then I was there for another 3 or 4 weeks of the ski season, whilst the old hotel that I was in was like another resort. So they all closed and they all went home. And again, like I didn't start the season going, oh, I'm going to be the best at doing these things. I just did what I thought was the right thing to do, and just like, I'm enjoying this. I'm at the top of the mountain. This is amazing. And like, what can I do that I'm here? And again, that, I guess, impact, and those 50 things changed. But I remember there was one, we ran out of ketchup, and I had some ketchup in my room, so I just went and got him my ketchup. It was just like the most random thing that most people I know just like won't do. It probably breaks all health and safety rules. But it was just like, and the guy knew, he said to me, you got this is your ketchup, isn't it? And I was like, look, you know, you wanted some ketchup, here it is. Kind of cool. And you know, it's just these small examples, I guess. And so the importance of thinking what you want and what you don't want. And I knew I didn't want to be in this situation living with these people in that, and you don't need to, you know, you can do something about it. So then kind of a few things, this slide is kind of a little bit necessary in the wrong place, but when I was at university, I then, after my gap year, got to university, and I got involved in something actually called ISEC, which William mentioned briefly earlier. Ended up going on a placement in Colombia, in South America, and the Philippines, and a few other kind of amazing places. But again, about kind of putting yourself forward and kind of different opportunities. So I come onto this kind of slide before I say this kind of session is called around Behind the Beams, which is kind of going behind student beams and where you've come from. And I guess I wanted to share a few glimpses of what it is who's made me, to hopefully share some things so that hopefully maybe there'll be some things in you that you kind of relate to and you can take and then go forward. So this side was kind of a side of all different things that I ended up, by the time I graduated, I'd worked with all of these different brands. I'm not standing there to say I'm bragging or showing off about it. I'm sharing it with you because there's an opportunity, and what we want to do is provide an opportunity as well as Student Beams, so that had I graduated at Student Beams, been on there. But there were kind of a few key things that I want to share. One is to do with Gala Bingo. Has anyone ever done any telesales? Telesales? No? Okay, I encourage all of you just to do, just for one day, 1 week. The reason why it is, there's kind of a number of like amazing kind of learnings that I'm just going to kind of share a bit with you. So, not the most glamorous thing in the world, I agree or admit, to be promoting Gala Bingo. And so kind of a few things around it. How many phone calls do you think I kind of made in the day? So the day was basically set up, there's a headset, there's a beep in your ear, you've got a message on screen, and it says, you're speaking to who you're speaking to, and then a script you've got to go through. So how many phone calls do you think I made in a day?